Namaste, and we are in very, very august company in this very special conversation about the future. What does the future hold for us with respect to technology? Where is the world of artificial intelligence going to take this world, this physical world forward? Joining us now is perhaps the one person who we should have a conversation with on this. He is perhaps the first international influencer to achieve the Triple Crown by Onalytica as the global #1 fintech, artificial intelligence, and blockchain influencer. But Mr. Spiros Margaris, thank you so much. We're going to focus on fintech and artificial intelligence today.
Yeah.
First up, thank you. Thank you for making the time.
Thanks for having me. It's a great honor.
Now, let me first ask you, you have dabbled, you're a venture capitalist, you've dabbled in, you've set up a lot of companies and you're on the boards of many companies. How do you see the current scenario with respect to technology when we look at artificial intelligence on the one hand and also the fintech market itself? Let's start from there.
I believe it's a very good question. And because, fintech has been around for a long time, even before it was called fintech. But the banks, financial institutions caught up with fintech in many respects. So AI gave fintech and the financial industry like a new life. So what we see now and going forward, we will see new fintech offerings that will differentiate themselves from the big players. So basically AI, artificial intelligence, gave those companies and will give those companies new life because it gives them new possibilities.
We were a generation, and I'd like to count myself as part of the generation, which saw technology evolve and evolve within a decade. I started when there were PCOs, there were the first computers, and then there were pagers, and then technology just boomed. The current generation is born into technology. The next 5-6 years, how do you see this changing? Because people say that even before you think technology is advanced, it's moving so fast, it's so dynamic. What's your outlook? How do you see the next 5-6 years or the decade evolving with respect to technology?
I think things advance so quickly as we see in AI, and which is this just what we see now. We don't even know what's in the pipeline, or we can guess. And I think we will have more social issues. Then technology will evolve in a way that people will not have to understand it, but they will be able to use it. And in a way, it will give them a fantastic user experience, from information, translation. I mean, a lot of things will be so personalized. So from walking to a store and my glasses might tell me, hey, Spiros, you can buy this. It's all right, buy it, because we have the budget for it, and you still can go on vacation. So in some ways, this AI agent will make our life much easier, better, but maybe technology advances so fast. Not maybe, it does, that the issue will be for governments in order to make sure that we don't leave people behind as much, because we have to reskill people, but there's only so much reskilling you can do. I mean, and even if you reskill, maybe you're not going to get paid as much, but there are opportunities out there. But I think the speed is so fast that even people, not people like me, but anyone who is in the AI space, I'm an investor in many companies, it's just mind-boggling how fast things moving. And even if we stop it, that's not a solution. No government can stop it. It's because AI is, I don't want to use a word, it's a powerful tool for many things, for the economy and for the governments, So in order to provide better service to customers, to provide better service to its citizens, to protect itself against cyber attacks. So there are a lot of benefits, but as I like to say, is technology like a knife. You can use it to cut bread, or you can use it to hurt someone. And that's how technology is. We are focused on the benefits of technology. But it is something that we have to think hard about it, how to use it, how to develop it, and how to regulate it. I'm not for regulation, though.
At the end of the day, it's a code. So somebody is writing this code, and it's evolving on its own. So
Yes.
is it possible to control and put in an inbuilt filter on the AI, or on the code that's written, so that it causes more good than harm? Is that possible? Or after some time it's going to spiral out of
I
the
think
main
it,
code itself?
I think it's going to go spiral out. Even now, Altman, I think I read something about Altman says, they know kind of what to do, what the OpenAI does, the algorithm, but they don't really know how. I mean, they know and they don't, and that's we're talking now.
Hmm.
I
So,
mean, it's a logical conclusion that eventually, not now, I don't know when, we
hmm,
will have no clue what it does and why it does it. I mean, that's not something nice to say, but I mean, I think our audience, when we speak to people, we always have to be optimistic, which innovation is something positive, but of course, with a filter, with also showing what could go wrong.
hmm. Because see, when we look at platforms, you talked about OpenAI, ChatGPT, some of these platforms, there are already cases of hallucinations. So it's actually making up things and telling you things. And there's a lot of proof doing the rounds here where people have tested this. Now that's a scary part. Now, how do we deal with this? Can those in technology, can those who are developing this tech, are they going to be able to control this, or this is something that humanity will have to live with?
I think we probably can control it because eventually that we have some sources, some ChatGPT, large language models that derive their data, etc., and the information from a trusted source. But that there will be also sources or platforms that they don't really care much. And humans hallucinate in a way. I mean, to explain to the audience, I mean, basically, hallucination means just simplified AI tells you something that's not true. Not because it means to be mean or bad, but it's just not true. It makes sense when you read it, but it doesn't make sense if you think about it. So in life, we also have to filter things, and we have to find ways to confirm that the news or the information we get is true. I guess we will have to figure out, and they try very hard to try to figure it out how to do it. But it serves some people to have AI hallucinating. Besides, sometimes it can be also a creative process.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might give you an idea that you haven't thought of.
So you're looking at the positive part of it in terms of, I'm trying to be a realist here. I'm just trying to ask you, is it going to make humanity and society more able, or is it going to make them dumber? Because when you just said, Spiros, you can go ahead and you can afford these glasses, you can go and buy it. Is that taking away my own ability to think and rationalize and say, do I really need something? So then is it making me a smarter person, or is it making me a dumber person?
And as a person, will make us dumber. As a humans, we will seem more powerful, but it will make us dumb. And I'll give you also an example. In my generation, we had to learn, to calculate in our head things, simple things, 12 times 12, whatever, and 144, whatever. But it was easy to an extent. Since the youth doesn't have to do it anymore because they do it through the iPhone or calculator, even simple things, probably 8 times 7, it's probably hard for them to figure out how much it is. I just give it an example because people can relate to this. Same here. It will make us dumber, just more powerful. But I don't believe it's going to make us smarter in the long run, because you get lazy. If we had something in our ear that would translate things we say to any language, so I would not make an effort to learn your language or my language, because so I think anything that helps us makes us weaker too.
So,
You don't have to carry anything anymore.
true.
Anything. You don't have to move anymore. Not a good thing.
Yes, it's not a good thing. So I'm just trying to say, when influencers like you, thinkers like you, and also innovators and people who are drawing these kind of platforms and taking the whole tech story forward, do they sit back and think what's going to help, and what perhaps in the long run sounds very exciting, but in the long run may actually hurt the human cause? Is there a barometer there? Or is it just that everybody's busy innovating right now, saying we'll figure it out later?
I think it's a second. It's a second. And I think some people who are left behind probably think about, for good reason, to the consequences. Usually when I publish or send or tweet some of the things I read, I also tweet or LinkedIn post things that I don't agree completely or are not positive, because I want people to get, a broad picture of what's happening so they can decide themselves. But I believe to be an optimist is a very important thing. But I also believe in hard work and trying to adapt. But I think it's a different situation now we have than we used to have. My parents were working class parents. So they worked in a factory when they came to Switzerland. And I always studied here and I had all the possibilities, which is a wonderful thing. And now we're speaking. What a beautiful. I met Prime Minister Modi in February, personally invited. Amazing things can happen in life if you work hard and go forward. But I think AI will make a lot of jobs redundant, and but you can't stop it. If you stop it as a country, say, hey, we will not implement it as much, you will fall back. So it's like between a rock and a hard place. You have to go forward, not to miss out, knowing that we don't know if there's a wall ahead of us or paradise.
True. So if there's a wall, you'll have to climb it, break through it, or walk around it. You got to figure it out. But when you met PM Modi, I was just about to come to that. When you met PM Modi, what did you gather from him, and what's his vision with AI, fintech, and future
And
tech?
I believe that, from even before I met him, it's amazing how India, through his leadership, through his people, evolves. It's a hardworking society. It evolves, and technology is an important part. I would have not have been invited otherwise. It's just, he's a person, and the government, the whole government. We spoke to the minister of finance. We spoke to many people. If you sense they want to draw knowledge. So how many top CEOs of tech companies are Indians? It's just amazing. But it's a country that believes in hard work and believes in change towards, and technology will be an enabler. And Modi, etc., doesn't have to meet me to know this, but it just shows you the mindset of the leadership to just talk to people, experts in different fields, and try to implement it in a way that's positive for the country. I was asked one question. I won't say by which minister, but there were 3 ministers present at the lunch. I said, I talked about regulation, and I said, regulation is like, it's more art than science. It's like a child. If you tell your children not to go out and run and play, sometimes they will come back, they got hurt, like we did. But that's a part of growing. If you tell them not to go out and run, then they will not become strong citizens in every respect. So you have to, it's like really, it's more art than science. You have to let companies go. And obviously there have to be some rules, but I think the smart companies will not break too many rules because it's not a good business model.
What is going to make you, Spiros Margaris, come and invest in India, or look at future of AI and fintech in India? You talked about a lot of Indians who are heads of tech companies, but they're not doing it in India. So I'm going to ask you that.
Actually, we invested I'm also a venture capitalist in a fund in Saudi Arabia that funded by the Saudi government to invest in AI companies, and we have actually which a company we invested in India that basically uses AI in order to provide people personalized makeup, etc., and that's amazing. and basically that's it's called Orbo, and it's an Indian company, amazing people. I mean, all those people are amazing. I'm not give a compliment to Indian people. It's just I think it will become one of the top economies in the world very soon. I mean, it's already very close. It's gonna go be faster than we think.
Allow me to put you on the spot a little bit more, and then we'll move on. Are you interested in Indian minds and Indian knowledge, but not wanting to directly engage with India or in India? Is there a gap there? And what is the concern, or what are the things that, if policy-wise or perhaps in an environment-wise, if it is addressed, you'll see perhaps more inflows in our country, especially in this space?
Yes, I think, but that means also, it needs a big understanding
Hmm.
of what it takes. It's one thing to discover a company,
Hmm.
invest in it, but it's a different thing to invest in a company that's just too much focused just in India, because as an outsider, it's probably very difficult
Hmm.
to understand your rights and then.
Correct. So that's where it is. But India itself is such a large market. The other thing, Spiros, I wanted to ask you, what about us news guys? How do you see news evolving? Do you see anchors like me getting redundant in the future? AI replacing us, voice-enabled information replacing us, 3D hologram just pops
I,
up,
I guess
and then we're gone.
I guess for some, maybe, but I still true believe that it's like the Swiss watch mechanic. And when digital came, the digital watches, Casio, etc., in the 70s, Swiss watches thought they're dead.
Hmm. I got
But
one too.
exactly, but then have a mechanical watch, that people like that, and I believe in good anchor, good journalism. I think there's something. You have to, if you're just average, doesn't cut it. But if you try to excel, I think through, those are different questions. People want to talk to people,
Hmm.
and I believe news, I believe in people. I believe in journalism, good journalism. And, uh, as much as AI can do some of those things, and it will do for some people, but for some other people, they rather have another human judging, maybe using some AI to gather information, to distill it. But at the end of the day, we will still have a need for quality journalism for long, I hope.
Hmm.
Yes,
I
because
hope so too.
no, I think so. I truly believe that.
Hmm.
But there will be some stations that will say, let's save some money and let's appeal to have some avatars speak, and there will be an audience for them. Like that's like rock and roll, jazz. That's for everything an audience.
Hmm.
But
True,
I
but
don't believe that I would be awful not to. When I tweet something, I always look up the names of the journalists and put their names, like, because they wrote it.
yeah.
Or they talked about it. So I give them credit, like visual credit, so people see that's the person, because it's just too important. Actually, journalism will be even more important than ever
Hmm.
through AI, because we talked about hallucination. We need humans to challenge information, to challenge opinions, etc.
Right. But there's this entire thing about some of these big tech companies. Now there's this big tech cartel lobby. There's this whole talk that they are out there to control the narrative, and they swing it. And today they are proliferating and they're entering markets, entering minds, and occupying space on people's handphones and in their screen
Yeah.
space. And tomorrow they'll start controlling lives. And AI is actually being used to colonize from a distance, or to. How do you see this? Do you believe this is the reality today, or do you believe that there is good and the bad? So let's focus on the positives. How do nations then protect their people, their sovereignty, when minds are being influenced, habits are being influenced,
But
and
it's
AI is
very
playing a role there?
hard to. I mean, we know. I mean, like, or let's not mention which platforms. All those platforms, they're very good at manipulating people. Not because they're evil. it's more business wise, because if you can crystallize a group of people who likes baseball, just to go positively, at least you can advertise much better baseball things there. So it's not, and the longer people stay on their platforms, TikTok is unbelievable at that, providing amazing content in terms of for their audience to believe, oh my God, that's exactly what I want, even if they feed them what they want to see. But that's very powerful. I mean, because a lot of the social media platforms will become the next search engines, already becoming. People don't go to Google, maybe they go to TikTok or wherever to search things. Instagram, I mean, not that Instagram is not perfect for that, but I'm just saying. So this changes the temptation of manipulation is there, and I don't believe it's purposely evil. The initial thinking is not about to be evil. It's more about business. But business can be evil. It can be. But it's not the first intention to say, oh, let's develop something to really control the world. It's more controlling, to win in their space.
Okay.
It's like somebody wants to become rich, not because he wants to control the world, but all of a sudden he becomes so rich and say, hey, it would be nice if my opinion would count even more.
Did you watch the conversation between Mukesh Ambani and the NVIDIA chief Huang there? They had a long conversation, and Reliance wants to go invest in deep tech, and they believe that there are immense possibilities. So let me ask you, what do you think are the 3-4 big possibilities in the next decade with respect to AI, where you would want humanity to put its minds on, or which is actually going to have a positive impact on the next generation?
In healthcare, obviously, finding new medication, supporting. We don't have enough people to support sick people. Finding, to evolve robotics to not only. We already have a lot of things, but in surgery, in healthcare, in taking care or companionship, as crazy as it is. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're lonely, you better talk to someone than having no one to talk to, and if they become much more like humans, but healthcare definitely, and finding medicines we haven't thought of, then obviously helping maybe also in the fintech space. So coming back to this, helping people who are not as educated or don't have the money, and all of a sudden you ask your computer or whatever it will be, or your iPhone, your phone, I don't have so much money. How much do I have to save for retirement? Can you tell me? And all these things which you would need money, you would need money in terms of to go to an expert. AI will give you very good answers. I say, Spiros, with this, what you have, what I've seen, maybe we have to move to this place. We have to, this will empower people. Even what's nice about it, it will empower people who don't have as much money, because if you have a lot of money, with AI or not AI, you will have people doing this job for you, estate planning, you name it. But if you don't have this amount of money, then basically, I think then you will enable the less powerful, less privileged people to have a better life. Education, private tutors, a lot of, some business will be threatened, but it will enable industries to thrive and people to thrive. Or energy, maybe, not maybe, likely. AI will probably develop new batteries or better manage electricity, energy for people in their cars as a country. And, I see a lot of possibilities. This is just the most obvious ones. And then we will see people out of the blue. Those are the most magical people who don't, not even in the industry, just say like a consumer, I wish I had this. And all of a sudden, they go for it. And we will see, obviously, smaller groups of people making a bigger difference compared to the past, because in the past, you would need a certain amount of people to code, etc. In the future, maybe you will need 2, 3 people eventually, and these 2, 3 people will run a company because you will, if you know how to use AI, you say, okay, develop this, do this. Oh, does that work? Doesn't work? Test it. Whatever. With whom shall we partner? The possibilities are endless. It's like I give a lot of speeches. I give keynote
Yeah.
speeches. Think of it and it will happen. I think in that direction, I used to say once past, the future is now, but that's something people say a lot, but, now, but I used to say a long time ago, but I say, think of it, it will happen.
Hmm.
And it can happen.
True.
And it can happen to anyone can do it eventually, which is also disruptive in itself.
I know there are a lot of people who look at you and say, Spiros, invest in us. Mr. Margaris, we've got this amazing concept and you've got to shell out your belly. So let me ask you as a venture capitalist, what excites you? What makes you think, yes, this is the one. This is the idea. This is the person. What matters to you?
Oh yeah, I'm more conservative than a lot of them, but of different approach. Obviously, people are extremely important. The people, the drive. Not only when they pitch, but then do they have customers? Because I'm more a person who invests in companies that already have customers. Because somebody liked what they have to sell, and they know how to sell. Basically, you developed it to a certain degree, you sold it to a customer, the guy buys it, and you grow. That's very powerful. And then at the end of the day, I will miss a lot because obviously you miss a lot.
Hmm.
But I go for what I understand, and if I like it as a consumer, and I see great people, a product that basically I believe has a competitive edge, and they're hungry and they have customers, that's very compelling, very compelling. Like
Hmm.
Orbo, I mentioned AI,
Yeah.
AI that does customized makeup for people. It understands clearly what this person needs or this person, and brings us products, and has already great customer base, and it's growing internationally. Those are magical things. When I spoke to them the first time, I said, I want to be part of it, and we are part of it now. But that's it has to excite you. It's like Warren Buffett. You can't be everywhere.
Right.
You just have to take your niche. Everyone has to find his niche.
Hmm.
The only thing that maybe I inspire somebody else is the drive, and that it's possible.
Hmm.
But I don't have to follow my path, or I don't have to follow somebody else's path. Usually, when I look at people that inspire me, like Steve Jobs or whoever, I look more of the essence that inspires me. The
Hmm.
essence of the drive.
Hmm. So you said you had a lot of misses. How do you
Yes,
deal with failure?
better now than before, because because when you're very young and you have failures, the consequences are severe.
Yes.
And the more diversified you are now, it's like, okay, it's not pleasant, but business goes, I eat the same things. I still do my things. So I'm more conservative, obviously, now.
Hmm.
And I'm not greedy. I'm never greedy. But failures is part of it. If I didn't have all those failures, I had 2 startups in New York, big billboards. My God, so many moons ago, 25 years ago. Divorce,
Yeah.
woman, divorce, and married again, thank God. Uh, it's just part of it. If you don't have those failures, you don't learn. And
Hmm.
whatever they tell you.
Yeah.
And
True.
and
But
it's not like you say, oh, I would like to have a failure. It comes, and either you grow on it or not. But I think if you have no failures, first of all, you're a bad person, because you become so arrogant. You think, life is. We have to be fortunate. We are fortunate. You have to work hard, but to stay healthy, it's a lot of things have to fall into place. But failures is part of it. And if you don't fall like a child, also in your business,
hmm.
you know, it's like
No, no,
somebody said, if you don't fall out of the curve a little bit when you drive, I mean,
correct,
as a racer, you don't drive fast enough.
correct. That's true. But have you ever thought, oh, I made a mistake? It's not even about failure. When you thought, oh, this is bad judgment.
No, no consequence. Yes, I think maybe I should have done differently, but go forward.
Go
I
forward.
don't go back. I don't look back. More as an experience, not to make it again, maybe, but not, oh my God, I shouldn't have gone in this relationship. I shouldn't have invested in this business. I did.
But sometimes doesn't the weight of expectation get to you, Mr. Margaris? You're the #1 international influencer, so there's an expectation from you. So
yes, sometimes. Yes. That scares me. Sometimes, like once, twice a year, when I get new mandates, new board member,
yeah,
I think, my God, can I do it? But then, oh, that's obvious. It's a normal human. But then I sleep. It's like digesting. It's like a big piece because things become bigger and bigger. You say, can I do it? But I think this to be a little nervous and to believe, can I do it? It's important. It's like going on stage. Before you go on stage, you're nervous. Can I do it? But once you're on stage, there's no way back, and then you have to do it.
Yeah. Because there's also this thing. There's a phase when you want to do it. You get up out of the bed with a spring in your steps because you love what you do. There's passion in it. Are there days, or are you? Has there ever been a moment where you're saying, "I don't want to do it, but I've got to do it"?
In the past, yes, of course, but I try obviously to avoid this. No, I only take mandates only now that I stand behind it, and I feel privileged to be part of it. I always tell them two things, and they have to feel privileged and part of it, and I have to feel privileged that I may be part of it. You know, it's like, and no, I don't. No, but in the past, obviously, you know, you can't choose. You know, it's like a privilege to choose now, but it's also part of not being able to choose because sometimes those difficult jobs that you don't are so passionate about it or difficult moments, those when you grow, those when you learn to be disciplined. I mean, I work 7 days a week. I work during my vacation, not the same vacation, but I work constantly. You know what I do? I discount every month all my investments, etc., to zero.
Okay. Wow.
So therefore, I have to say, hey, Spiros,
get up and start work.
Yeah, let's get up and do something before, you know, but I'm not alone in this. You know, Jensen, the CEO of NVIDIA, he always believes every month that he goes under, although he has such a head start, etc. But it's a mindset. Or Bezos has this startup day one.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter how successful we are. We have to, you know. But that's not so very personal. The most important thing is to inspire other people, you know, in a way that tell them the journey will be difficult, but it's a wonderful thing to be part of this journey. You know, look at this now. We talk now with you. I talk with you now. It's, you know, it's a privilege. It's always a privilege.
Privilege is mine to listen to you. But that's what I'm saying. How easy or difficult is it to stay humble? Because that humility has to come, you know. Otherwise, it's ego, right? You get so much of attention, and then you think you're bigger than everybody. How easy or difficult is it to get back to that startup day one, or say discount everything and say we're going to start from zero again?
Oh, it's programmed, and you have to stay humble, you know, because you have to. It's this mixture. You have to be very confident, you know, in order to make things happen. But you have to stay humble with other people. And you have to be helping other people, because otherwise, I don't want to use the word a word. Otherwise, you become an A word person.
A word, yeah.
You know, and you don't want to be that. So the more successful you are, the more you have to try to help others. Inspiration or advice or whatever. And you have to stay, that's the human part. You know, humble is very important. But on the other hand, when you go out, you know, it's like you play a sport. You know, in India is, what's the most popular sport in India? Cricket. So when you play cricket, probably, you know, this is competition, no matter what who your friend is. But when you finish cricket, and even if you're a star, it's nice that you're a nice person.
Yeah,
you know?
true.
And also, you know, and that really makes you a star.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah, that's when the connect happens.
But you have to separate one with the other.
Yeah.
It's like war. I mean, not the war, but it's like you have to win, and you
Correct.
have to win, and that's different than.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
different.
You've got to have a hard side and a soft side, and both need to go together. You've got to be ruthless with your work.
Jensen, I mean, I worked as a kid at Burger King, during my studies. I worked many jobs. Or Jensen said, he cleaned, NVIDIA CEO, he cleaned more toilets.
Toilets, yeah.
But that makes us people also humble and tough, and also when you have a business and it will happen that you think it will go under. If you grow fast enough, there will be moments where you think, my God, we're
So then let me ask you this. If AI tomorrow starts doing all of this for the next generation, where will they learn these lessons of life?
This quietness says it all. I
Uh,
think we two gave the best answer now.
yeah, silence. Oh, you got to figure it out. Maybe something else will come by, and there'll be other lessons will be taught and learned.
Look at this. I see a trend of, analog photography, vinyl records,
Coming back.
So maybe I believe the more technology comes into our lives, maybe other things will become fashionable and attractive again. To become a carpenter, to become a plumber, to do things by hand. There will be jobs out there. I think that we will appreciate even more. Because I can't. But this quietness we had, I think it's definitely also a challenge for the world to think about very hard how to motivate kids. If you tell a kid when to go to study and he sees what's happening now, I think, why the heck shall I go study? Doesn't mean it's true. You have to educate your mind, but
yeah,
those are, nobody has the answers, but I think we don't have the answers, but we have the questions.
yeah.
We don't have the
That's true.
answers, but we have the
We
questions.
have the questions, so let's keep asking them. Yeah.
Yes, because then we have to deal with it and we think about it. And
True. When is your next visit to India?
I don't know yet, but hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah,
Sooner than later.
we'd like you to visit, and if you're in Delhi, we'd like you to visit our studios. And the next conversation we have, it should be in person.
We will think contact, and it's true. You made it very easy. It was nice thing we had now was it was a bit like a dialogue,
Yes,
and that's
it
a
was.
nice.
And I think the conversation was fantastic, and it's been an honor. And thank you so much for your time.
Honor was all
Namaste.
mine.
No, truly lovely, and look forward to speaking more often and also meeting in person sometime soon.
We will. We will.
Yes, we will make it happen. Think and we'll make it happen.
And India is an amazing, amazing, amazing place.
Yeah, it needs Spiros Margaris
Respect.
to spend more time here.
Yes, and more investments.
Absolutely.
No, but much more important than investments, inspiring others
Yeah.
to be part of the India story.
Yes.
Part of it. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Do that for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaste.